With its adaptation of Godzilla, legendary Monsterverse made some significant changes to the concept, allowing the kaiju and his world to be unique to the movies that came before it. The root of all these differences is the existence of the Titans, the name that the Monsterverse has given to its kaiju, who have been reimagined as ancient monsters. But while this separates the Monsterverse from most iterations of Godzilla, it's worth noting that the idea isn't completely original. In fact, its ideas have a lot in common with Godzilla vs. Mothra, a movie Toho released 32 years ago. 30 years after pitting Godzilla against Mothra in 1961's Showa-era film Mothra vs. Godzilla, Toho arranged a rematch. The fight came together in 1992's Godzilla vs. Mothra, which once again saw Godzilla step into the role of the villain. But rather than have Godzilla face off against Mothra in another one-on-one showdown, Toho elected to throw a third party into the equation. To this end, Godzilla vs. Mothra introduced a rival to Mothra, a villainous creature known as Batra. Through the creation of Batra, the studio quietly laid the groundwork for a foundational element of the Monsterverse. Godzilla vs. Mothra beat the Monsterverse to one of its most important ideas. Batra and Mothra are ancient enemies in Godzilla vs. Mothra. In Godzilla vs. Mothra, it was revealed that Mothra and Batra are old rivals engaged in a conflict stretching back thousands of years. According to the movie, Batra and Mothra had a disagreement over the fate of humanity in the Earth's ancient past, resulting in an intense battle. Mothra won the fight, but Batra survived, albeit in ice. Upon his awakening in the present-day era, he was given an opportunity to continue his fight with Mothra. This served as the basis of the story, making it comparable to movies set in the Monsterverse. They too focus on ancient monster rivalries. Ancient creatures sharing long histories with each other that go beyond what's shown on screen is a recurring theme in the Monsterverse. The Mutos, King Ghidorah, and the Scar King were all portrayed as old adversaries to Godzilla whom he beat long ago. However, it's not an idea found in the vast majority of Godzilla's films. It occasionally does feature ancient monsters, such as King Caesar and Mothra, but Godzilla vs. Mothra was the first movie to have two of them square off. It was unique in that respect until the Monsterverse came along. Why Godzilla movies took so long to feature ancient monster rivalries? Godzilla vs. Mothra was an outlier for years. Godzilla wakes up from the sea in Godzilla Monsterverse. Godzilla vs. Mothra being such an outlier and the only Godzilla film to share this trait with the Monsterverse can be largely attributed to how it's defined Godzilla over the years. Traditionally, Godzilla is understood to be a product of the hydrogen bomb, thus severely limiting the length of his backstory to a few decades. In order to go down this route, Toho had to shift focus to two different monsters. That's in direct opposition to the Monsterverse, which has made most of Godzilla's enemies someone he has some sort of rich history with.